had been suffering with chronic fatigue syndrome for a very, very long time, and I was having quite a time healing from it. And normally somebody'd say to me, you know, there's an ET healer that can help you. In the past, I would have went, oh yeah, right. But there was something about, well, it was the energy that came through, and Ken told me about Jackie, and I immediately went to her website. And as soon as I did, I felt this energy. And I said, yes, I'm working with her. And I started to work with her, and after the first session, my energy was noticeably better. And when I first started this project 3 months ago, I did not even know if I could do this. I didn't even know why I was beginning it. I thought, oh my goodness, how could I possibly? Physically, I could barely walk. I couldn't drive. I had vertigo. My sister is here tonight, Paula, and my niece Samantha Rose, and they both witnessed me in this way, and my family and my friends. And they said, what happened to Laura? Well, Laura's back. And I want to thank the ETs for being here and for helping me. And I've learned a lot since then. So I would like to bring up to the stage the amazing, incredible, beautiful heart channel communicator healer, Ms. Jackie Salvitti.
This is the first time I've ever done an event where they would not tell me anything. They wanted me out of my head. And I tend to be a little obsessive compulsive, which anybody who is working out in those energies tends, my experience is, especially beings that are very connected extraterrestrially, we tend to be obsessive compulsive. It's the way we handled being on Earth. And nothing. The only thing they let me do was the music. Normally I get all these beautiful messages and information and pictures, and I can see what's going to happen. Nothing. So now this has been a really fascinating, and so they said, no, 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 no. I'd write notes. I'd walk away from the computer, could remember nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it was really frustrating to me. This morning I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I walked outside, and they said, do you get it yet? And I said, yes, I do. They said, it's all heart. This is not about your head. This is not about what you think you know. This is not any of that. Now, in addition to this, one of my mentors was Dr. John Mack, professor of psychiatry at Harvard, you know, which gives me a little credibility, you know, other than the fact there's usually a party in my head. And so John was one of my mentors, as was Adrienne DeVere. Our work is very different, and yet I had told John Mack that he and Adrienne, who was a phenomenal ET healer, he and Adrienne and myself were a triad of energy. I didn't understand how at that time, because when this all came into my life, it was like a locomotive coming through my life. It was overnight. And I left the most incredible life imaginable for me, something that really made me happy. I had wonderful friends. I had a wonderful career. I lived on a golf course, which originally I thought was a park. But with OCD, you then get addicted to golf, and I'd be playing in the rain. I was happy, and I was on the ninth tee where everybody came, you know, for drinks, and it was wonderful. I had fabulous friends. So this was, now I've had experiences, my children have all had experiences. This has been a long time coming. I came in knowing that I was being prepared for something, had no clue what that was. I lived in 13 foster homes. I had all these experiences. What I came to later understand is that I was gathering familial information, familial dynamics, so that in my field, I kind of carry this understanding of what goes on within the familial dynamics and how much they've held us captive on this planet. We call it the familial chain of pain because that's really what it is. And it's repetitive patterns and imprints and things that are played forward and played forward. And now we understand, and the team, God bless them, this has been a growing work. We're at 9,000 sessions in 7.5 years. That's a lot. And for 7.5 years, I've been locked in a house, which is not my style, with my head down, you know, trying to figure out with the team, how do we help people the most to release themselves from the human dynamic. As I look out in the room, I would say every one of you, not only do you have star heritage, everyone on the planet does, but you are all star beings that came here to be bridges for the times that's coming. And it's so important. You have, every one of you, great work to do. All right? Many of you don't know what that is yet. You're trying a little of this and a little of that and a little of this. You find yourself having some repetitive patterns that get in the way around struggle, love, health, all of these things, which are all tied into emotional imprints. They're the things that hold you back, that you can't seem to access. Many of you have worked with many healers, done workshops, done yoga, shmoga, you name it, and not been able to really reach it. If your life isn't working beautifully, there are things going on that you can't access. The team and I, they're going to come through shortly here and explain to you, I'm sure, better than I can. Started out with, it was just crazy. For me, it was crazy. It was every time I'd do a session, and I was doing them in the home, this elevator kind of thing would come down, and these beings would just pour off. And you can't really describe them. Some would just be a beam of light that would be walking across the room. It was crazy. I loved it. I could see all the equipment. I could see everything that was going on. I thought it was really exciting, except that the frequencies were too much for a human. And so I started depleting and going down and going down and going down. And I was moved overnight. My lease was invalidated. They moved me to a new house. Everything was all set up. I had concerns, you know, would I be connected? Both my mentors have crossed over, and they did it within the first 6 months of me starting my end of the work. So they work with me from the other side. It has been a constant evolution. Initially, we had people instantly psychic, hair turning back natural color, women starting their menses again, a lot of them not very happy with me. However, we had to tone it down. And like I told them, if I have to sit in this room and heal disease for the rest of my life, I'm going to slash my wrists. I don't want to be Jesus. This is not what I came here to do. We need to get to the emotional imprints. We need to get to the release so that people can remember who they are and know it, not just have it sitting out here, but in here, and know their connection to the entire cosmos, to the multiverse, and to their source. However you perceive that, that's what we're here to do. There are going to be a lot of people on this planet in chaos. We're moving very quickly towards contact. This is not some fantasy, it's reality. We are now, and this is, for some of you, you may not be aware, many of you are abductees and potentially have hybrid children. There's nothing to be, this is a beautiful thing. And I hope that what we shared tonight is going to help you. These have happened by agreement. Prior to coming onto this planet, they slipped you a little contract, said press hard, sign here 4 copies. From there, you were thrilled to do it because you understood the total agenda. When you got here, you did not. All right? And it was fearful for many of you. Some of you have this sensing in childhood, terrified of the dark, recurring nightmares, terrified of the closet. For some, and I have some adults that say, I'm still afraid of the dark. I still sleep with ambient light, okay? And I'm not afraid of anything. But it's a habit that went very, very deep. I have a family of abductees, all of them. If they're all star beings, I just look at them and go, oh, God. They all have their unique paths. And I honor that. I really do. I whine, but I honor it. Many people have talked about the abduction experience, and a lot of therapists have done regressive hypnosis. Unfortunately, people aren't taken deep enough in order to not have the fear program kicked in. And that fear program, when you're in the initial stages of hypnosis, it's like reliving the fear, and it does damage. And I'm not, if any of you are therapists, I apologize. I'm not here to denigrate what you do. It's just, I have such a big body of work at this point. My goal is to help, that's all. Not to make anybody right or wrong. The hybrid children will be our first contact on this planet. And they want us to know, and they are in motion right now. They are coming through to people. We do a session called an abduction session. This year, I was working on the new website that's up now. Not the graphics and things, no, just writing. And I had some grays come to me. They don't normally participate in my sessions in terms of healing. And they came and said, please put this on your website, it's time now. And so I did. I mean, I could see that it was very sincere, and it was very sincere, and it felt as though it was very important, and it was. I talked to someone just before I came here, the night before we left, and she called me actually late for me at night. She was so thrilled when I answered the phone, but when I saw her number, something said, you need to talk to her. She literally had been to all of these different people, and they were all telling her, there's like 1,000 beings around you. We don't know what they are. And the minute I heard her voice, I saw the hybrid children, and I said, basically, you're a way station. And therefore, she had seen me, some YouTube thing I had done on YouTube, and she said, the minute I saw it, I knew I had to contact you. This is big stuff, people. This is not imaginary. It's not, it's real, okay? You are all connected in ways you can't even imagine to the cosmos. And everyone that's here in this lifetime, it's a gift. This is the big one. Make no mistake, you are all amazing. You're honored, you're loved, okay? And it's a tough one because everything we know is falling apart. Literally, the whole foundation of this planet is coming apart. Everything you've known in terms of gender bending, and I mean, you know, you don't know who anybody is anymore. You're afraid to say he, she, whatever. You know? And I don't mean my son is gay, so this is not a judgment. It is just stretching and pushing everything we've known. Home ownership, apple pie, you know, Chevy, America, everything, retirement, everything that we have really depended on to be out here as our future is gone. None of it really makes any sense anymore, and it's not supposed to. It's literally shaking the consciousness of humans in order to open them to more. We had 9/11. That was also the same thing. It was a shock to human consciousness. It literally tore it apart to allow these things start to come in. Now we're seeing it all around us. And I guarantee you, regardless of what's going on, you are your own universe. You do not have to experience ever or be a recipient of any of the negativity that you perceive unless you judge it in your life. You can go out there and create and make magic and miracles and money and abundance and love and everything and health if you recognize that you are literally your own universe. You don't have to be subject to the laws of this planet, but it's a choice. And it's something you have to know, absolutely. Do you need clearing to get yes, of course. But a lot of people have done every kind of clearing imaginable, and you go home at night and say, why isn't my life working? Why aren't things happening in my life? There's been so much information. You know, the secret, the this, the that. And yet, it doesn't stick. And I know that. And the team knows that. And that's why the big thing, especially for you people who are here to be the bridges, and you are. I mean, I look around the room and I'm just like, whoa. I can't actually see your faces, but I can see all your energy fields. So, hybrid children. That may bring up some real fear for people. The whole concept of abduction, the whole concept of, it can create tremendous fear. The beings that participated in this are not really extraterrestrials. They are from a parallel dimension. They are another version of humans who took a different road. They are trying to right that. They are trying to correct it. They've been around since before we were created as beings on this earth. The most difficult thing for all of us to really recognize, whether you're doing it in your life experience or you're doing it in the cosmos, please, please, please don't project onto the universe the division and the separation that you have on Earth. Whatever you believe you're going to experience, if you're negative, you can pull in negative energies. On the other side of the veil, everything is really neutral. I've had people call me and say, well, can you remove this implant? Can you do this? Can you do that? To remove an implant takes like an act of God. Because on the other side of the veil, there's such respect. There's honor for every living being, because it is a spark of the infinite, experiencing itself just as all of us are. There is no right, no wrong, no good, no bad. If you go into negative, you're going to attract negative. It's no different than what you do on Earth. You're having, all of you, other lifetimes off this planet. Many of those beings are interacting with you directly, and you see them as separate from you. You see them as another kind of being. It doesn't matter what name you give them. Oh, mine's from Sirius, or mine's from the Pleiades, or mine's a gray, or mine's of this, or mine's of that. More times than you would ever imagine, they are another version of you. They will never tell you that. That's your personal discovery. When you can put down your fear and allow for the fact that that may be, and if you ask them, they will never deny if it's true. But they have to wait for you to ask. For any of you that are consciously involved with your guides, many times guides appear to be angelic or other kinds of beings, multidimensional balls of light. Many times they really are extraterrestrials. They're appearing in a form that you can handle, that is comfortable for you until you're ready to see more. When you ask, you'll see. It's really that simple.